Here we go then, it's me, Reedy, with another episode of Beat the First Man, episode 57 for you. Another week of silliness, stupidity, and yeah, even a little bit of football thrown in. So, what are we waiting for? Set fire to the footballs. Yes, another week of madness about to get underway, and luckily for us this week, no stories of French football fans doing unthinkable things on the terraces. Go and watch last week's if you've got no idea what I'm on about. Trust me, steel yourself. Anyway, our favourite game, let's get things going. How old? The bit we love. I put up the picture of an old footballer. All you have to do is guess how old he was when the photo was taken. This week, it's a Scotsman. Now, it's been a little while since we've had a Scotsman on here. But this was a man, he had a very long career, 983 club appearances, just 17 away from joining the 1000 club. After spells at Alloa and Blackpool, he made the switch to Coventry City, where he made an impressive 314 appearances for the Sky Blues. However, it was his next spell in Sky Blue at Manchester City that brought his most infamous moment in the 1981 FA Cup final, when he scored to give Manchester City the lead against Tottenham. However, the game didn't pan out quite as he expected, because he scored an own goal in the second half to take it to a replay in a 1-1 draw, a deflection off of a free kick. He's one of only 3 players to have scored for both teams in an FA Cup final. There you go, little fact for you there. Store that one away for your future pub quizzes. He also managed international recognition, 17 appearances for Scotland, scoring once, but despite all the aforementioned, here comes the highlight of his career. So when this photo of Tommy Hutchison was taken, how old was he? Answer to be revealed later on in the show. So, helmet on, can only be time for Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police time. Now, as we know, last weekend they set out on the road. Oh, leave it on. Very unprofessional. Poor show, Mr. Reed. Poor show. They set out on the road to Wemberlee in the FA Vars. They are our road to Wemberley team in the FA Vars. A tricky away tie at Torpoint, as we knew, on the back of a 13-0 reverse in the midweek. So, surely though, after my rousing speech last week, this was the moment. The ultimate. The cup shock. The thing we have all been waiting for. The start of the long and winding road to the big arch in London in May. Guess what? Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police won. Yes, Stoke Gabriel and Torbay Police won. Sadly, Torpoint 6. Boo! Boo! Torpoint! Boo! Yes, the hopes of the boys from Dictator, of Jen Dixon, Sam Lambeth, every other musician that's been on the show, and our big day out and the cup final song and the trip to Wembley, it's all gone. It's all been dashed. All together, everyone sat home for Torpoint IFC. Boo! But wait, no. Torpoint are now our road to Wembley team. So, we'll do the honourable thing. Torpoint, we're right behind you now. We're going to back you. So in the next round of the FA Vars in Road to Wembley, they have Chipping Sodbury Town at home. So Torpoint, do not let us down. We expect you to get all the way now. We want to go to Wembley with you. A Stoke Gabriel flag will still be coming, but we want to go to Wembley with Torpoint. Can they play ball? Will they play ball? Will someone from Torpoint come on the show? The gauntlet has been laid down. For SGTP, of course, it's back to league business this week. The Vars, well, that can wait till next year. We don't mind. It's left us all a bit flat though, isn't it? Let's be honest. Anyway, this won't leave us flat. Earlier on in the week, I caught up with Kian again as we discussed our fantasy football weekend. You will notice this week I've remembered to introduce it. I'm not sat in my pyjama top introducing it. Anyway, without further ado, here's Dad V Lad, fantasy football. So here we are then, another week, fantasy football, Dad V Lad. Kian, how are we?
I'm good, and I have a message as well. I've got the Lathams album here.
Oh, hashtag Lathams for number one.
Yeah, when this goes out, they might have been there and they might not have, but they're really good, to go and listen to
Well, I think there's two hashtags. Latham's for number one and Latham's to beat the first man.
it. We need to get them both going.
We want them on here. So if they're watching, get on here.
It wasn't planned, it was just sat next to me, so I just thought I may as well.
Right, but the real reason you're on here, fantasy football, and it's a momentous week, Kian. It is a momentous week. Why is it a momentous week, Kian?
I believe you might have beaten me.
There's no believe about it. I did beat you. 63-49. I had a point deducted because of my transfer activity this week. But 63-49. So you did a free hit last week, didn't you?
Yeah, it didn't really work.
Oh, right. So who was your hero of the week last week?
Well, Bar and Salah, I had a pretty bad week other than Antonio.
Yeah.
And
Sadly.
they always seem to get big points against us, don't they? So chuck the Watford players in this week.
Yeah. Well, my decision to captain Vardy was absolutely inspirational because he got 22 points last week.
It didn't look it at one point when he scored in his own net, did it?
No, well, there was that. So the first time that I've beaten you this season, it does close the gap. I think the gap now, if we just have a little look, I've actually gone up the table for the first time in ages. I'm 20th now. You are 10th. So the gap now is 35 points, which is the closest it's been since the start of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
see, is it?
This week then. So obviously we can't go through your transfers because you did a free hit last week, so you've made loads. So
exactly.
we'll go team for team this week. So what's your formation this week?
So I've gone for the 4-4-2, full on Sean Dyche style this week.
Oh, I've gone same 4-4-2. So who have you gone as keeper?
Edison, which probably isn't wise because they're playing Liverpool.
Oh well, I've dropped Ben Foster to the bench, and I've sold Hugo Lloris. I've dropped Foster to the bench because I think we're going to score some goals this weekend. So he's on the bench.
Hopefully.
I've sold Lloris because basically now he just lets in 3 every week since I signed him. So I've brought Martinez back.
Yeah.
For Villa, so he's back in goal for me this week.
Who have they got this week?
Tottenham away.
Oof.
So they're only going to score 1 at the most, aren't they?
Yeah, it's true.
So who's your 4 defenders then?
I've got Diaz, Cresswell, Rudiger, and White.
Okay, so I've got Diaz, then I've got Cody, Kufau, and Pereira. So we've both got Diaz. Both got a West Ham defender. So any of those your captain or vice captain?
No, I don't trust any of them really. They're just kind of there.
I've left them alone. So who's your 4 midfielders?
So I've got Grealish, Benrahma, Salah, Rafinha.
Right, so we've got 3 midfielders the same out of the 4. So I've got Salah, Zaha, Grealish, Rafinha. Now, have you captained or vice captained any of them?
Vice captain Grealish, but I've not actually done that. It's done it itself, so that might change.
Oh, okay. So
in fact, you know what? I'm going to change it now.
Oh, okay. Live fantasy football action as we speak.
That's the first time, that.
Yeah.
Rafinha has been vice captain now.
Okay, so I've vice captained and captained my midfield.
All right, yeah.
So I've got vice captain Zaha because they're at home to Leicester.
Yeah.
And I've got captain Rafinha because I think this is his weekend.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, this is his weekend. So I've captained him against Watford. I think he's going to do the business. So and who have you got up front?
Whenever he scores. Antonio, because he just doesn't seem to stop scoring, really.
Yeah.
And Lukaku.
Okay, so I've kept Vardy in, but I have made a transfer. I can't remember who I've got rid of now. I'm going to have to look because it'll bug me. Oh no, I haven't got rid of him.
Is he still there?
This is live and exclusive action, this, isn't it?
It's
thrilling stuff. No, it is the same team, but what I did is that he was on the bench last week. I brought him in. So Danny Ings is in, Ivan Toney's on the bench. So I've got Vardy and Ings up front.
Yeah.
So who have you gone as your captain then?
Oh, I've gone for Lukaku because they've got Southampton at home, so they should score a couple, I think.
Yeah, no, fair shout.
And if they're scoring, it's usually him. So,
And who does that leave you on your bench?
well, two of them have got red triangle next to them. I mean, one of them is on loan at Swansea. That's right. He's been transferred. He's been transferred to Swansea. He's literally there now.
You really should get rid of him then.
I'm not taking -4 for him. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And then Ayling's injured as well.
Yeah.
With the red triangle, and Gilmore and Foster. So I'm not sure it's a very high scoring bench, to be honest.
Oh, well, I've got Gilmore and Foster. And then I've got Digne of Everton, but they're away at Man United, so I've dropped him. Yeah. And I've got Ivan Toney because I just think Vardy and Ings got more chance of scoring than Toney has.
And you've not got a man who's playing up front for Swansea?
No, I haven't got a man who's playing up front for Swansea.
That's just me, is it?
Yeah, that's just you. So we'll just quickly look at the overall score then. So I won last week, first time ever. So the overall score, Cian, it's you 370, me 335 after 6 weeks. Plenty of time to go.
Close.
Long way to go. Only 35 points in it. It's the first time ever I've remembered to do it every week. So just for the laugh, where are you in the overall fantasy football?
Oh, I can check for you now. Hold on. Fantasy. Let's have a look. In the overall table, I am. We're going to have to find it. Hold on. I'll have to move you to this side of the screen. I have to hold you while I do it.
Down the bottom, isn't it?
But I'm on.
This
I'm
is
on
thrilling stuff for the viewers.
Here we go. I'll put you on now. I'm on my web app, so it's a bit different. But on the overall, I am 1,475,338.
Well, that means there's an awful lot of players between you and me because I am 3,030,024.
I've moved up in every single one of them.
There must be, yeah, so have I. So there must be an awful lot of players in between 370 and 335 points.
Somebody's winning this.
I know, and it ain't you or me.
Somebody got 507 points. That's ridiculous.
Stupid. So we'll see how this week pans out, Cian. We'll be back for next week to see how we've done in fantasy football, Dad v Lad. So one last message, Cian. What was the CD again for those who weren't looking properly first time round?
It is How Beautiful Life Can Be by the Lathams, and get out there, buy it, stream it, whatever it's just really good. So yeah,
it is really, and it is very, very good. So people do need to get on it. So Key,
exactly.
Till next week.
See you in a bit.
See you later. And it's for now. It's back to the show.
So there we go. A big week as finally I got my first win. 63-49, closing the gap by 14 points, meaning it's now a 35-point gap between us. Gary Hamilton and his Carjar Warriors, they're looking unstoppable, still lead the way, but the gap is closing. Nick Campbell and his team hanging by a thread is they're catching up. Down at the bottom is still Elvis Chitawa and his Toru Nesu FC. They can't seem to close the gap. He looks to have cemented that place down by the bottom. So, of course, the big inflatable hammer, which can only mean one thing. It is hammer time! Yes, hammer time. So, guess what? We're going back to Germany. Second week running. This is incredible. So after last week's Bayern Munich, the Germans seem to be getting a feel for this. So at the weekend, RB Leipzig entertained Hertha Berlin. A steady stream of 3 goals in the first half from, and I'll check notes, Nkuku, Poulsen and Mukiele made it a nice 3-0 lead for the home side for Leipzig. The Leipzig fans were seen with cards spelling out Hammerzeit in the terraces. Unbelievable. Teams are getting behind this. Hammerzeit in the terraces spelled out. That means hammer time if you don't know German. Anyway, on the hour, a penalty from Forsberg made it 4 before Nkuku got his second of the afternoon to make it 5-0. One more needed, and as the clock ticked to 77 minutes, up stepped Amadou Haidara to fire home a 6th and ensure the big hammer needed to come into play. They actually had a goal ruled out for VAR for offside, so they could have had a 7th, but for now, that's not too bad. So, the hammer is RB Leipzig. The chair is Hertha Berlin. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. RB Leipzig, hammer time. Yes, hammer time, RB Leipzig. Back next week. Who will be our hammer time people next week? The bear we all love then, or put up with, our friend Ted. Ted, how are we, mate? I am knackered, Reedy. Why are you knackered, Ted? What have you done? I walked here, I couldn't get any bastard fuel, I've had to walk. It's not easy to do with these little legs. Okay, so why didn't you queue, Ted? You could have just got some fuel, just queue. Queue? Queue? Do you know who I am? I'm Ted, I don't queue for anything. Yeah, but Ted, there's been issues at the pump all week due to panic buying clowns that have been everywhere, all around the country. Need fuel. Yes, lunatics, all of them. So, you know what? You could just have queued and you've had fuel. Clowns, you're not wrong. I am fuming, which ironically is what my car is running on. Fumes. Okay, very good. So anyway, should we talk about last week's bet, Ted? Shall we? What, that gravel-voiced idiot from Burnley again letting me down? I can't lie, Ted. I was laughing when I saw it. I did laugh. So you done... I can't remember who you done. Who did you do? Did you do Chelsea? Oh no, you did Arsenal to beat Tottenham, didn't you? You did Liverpool to win, but you did Leicester to beat Burnley. No, I did Liverpool to win, I did Everton to win, and I did Leicester to win. And Leicester and Burnley was a draw, and it let me down. Oh, wow. Never mind. Anyway, Ted, it's back to Little Knob of the Month time, isn't it? So it's September's Little Knob of the Month. Do you get it for getting no winning trebles in the month? Really, don't be so stupid. You could get it for that small segment of last week's show you had to do in your pyjamas. A fair point, Ted. That was one of my more spectacular cock-ups. If you've not seen it, go back to last week's show. Right at the end, Dad v Lad Fantasy Football. Me presenting part of the show in my pyjamas because I forgot to do it. But no, so I've not won, Ted. You've not won. So who has won? Well, Reedy, we're going back to the Liverpool v Leeds match and the sending off of Pascal Struijk. Ted, I remember it well. Horrific injury to young Harvey Elliott, who of course we wish well, but one that was a complete accident. So who's winning the award, Ted? Without doubt, it goes to Craig Pawson, the referee. The sending off was way over the top, but the lie span afterwards saying he was going to send him off without VAR, I mean, that was just the final straw. Ted, little shouty man might have come into play here. I couldn't agree more. So Craig Pawson, as we all know, he gave the red card to Struijk for his challenge. It was a complete accident. He went in for the ball, he got the ball. His back leg, as he was getting up, was the leg which made contact with Elliott. Complete accident, freak accident, as described by Harvey Elliott himself. But Mr. Pawson told a little porky pie. So he said that, and you know, we've been quoted, that he was going to give the red card all along without VAR's intervention. Now, one little thing, Craig. Why didn't you give a foul? Yes, so Mr. Pawson wasn't going to give a foul, was he? At the time, he just played on. In fact, he was playing on. The ball was down the other end of the pitch. Leeds were on a counter-attack. But no, he allegedly, so I had something in my hand, was going to give him a red card all along. But I think we all smell bullshit, don't we, Ted? 100% Reedy, 100%. But so yeah, Craig Pawson, you are deservedly this month's Little Knob of the Month winner from Ted. So Ted, I dropped the knob, Ted. I heard. Anyway, are you back for How Old the Reveal later on in the show? Yes, Reedy, another handsome chap you've pulled out for us this week. Dear God, where do you keep getting them from? Ted, trust me, there are loads more, mate. We'll see you later. So, time to head back on the road to Wemberlee, the FA Cup and the FA Trophy. This weekend, it's FA Cup time again, the third qualifying round. So a win here and they're one step away for the first round proper and potentially drawing a League One or a League Two club. So our boys, AFC Dunstable, who we're now following, where they won at Barking in the last round, as we know, they are at home to Peterborough Sports in the next round. Tough tie. Peterborough Sports are a league above and they're flying at the top of the table. So it's a tough tie for our guys from Dunstable. But let's see. Who knows? It's the magic of the FA Cup. Pulls a rabbit out of the hat in magic of the FA Cup. It's bollocks, isn't it, really? There's no magic of the FA Cup anymore. It's a load of old bonkum now. It's just died. But anyway, we'll keep it going. So AFC Dunstable right behind you this weekend. Can they get to the fourth qualifying round? In the FA Trophy, you may recall we started with the boys from Worksop Town. Well, that did well. First game out. So there we go. The trophy going as well as the FA Cup. So they lost to Dunstan UTS. They lost 3-2 last week at Dunstan UTS. So they are our new team. We go with the boys from Dunstan. They have a treat. They have a team. When I was a kid, you used to get a football and it used to have team names printed on the football. And they were flyaway football. You kick them and literally it could go in 10 directions. You could take Cristiano style, Ronaldo style free kicks long before he was even a little twinkle in his dad's eye. You could hit it as hard as you could and it would go like that. It was incredible, honestly. But one of the team names that was printed on there was this team, Workington. Well, it used to be a football league club many moons ago. So Dunstan UTS, they are away at Workington in the next round. So good luck to the boys from, actually I think it's Dustin, not Dustin. I think Dustan's a bit posh. We'll go with Dustin. So let's see. And as always, Wemberlee, Wemberlee, we'll beat the first man and we'll go to Wemberlee, Wemberlee. So there we go. We'll see how it goes. I nearly lost my voice then. Must have been siphoning all that fuel out of other people's cars. Now it's been a couple of weeks without one, but I think it's time we had another one of these.
The name game.
Yes, the footballer with the ultimately brilliant name. We've not done one for a few weeks, have we? So our man this week was a prolific goal scorer in club football. He made an incredible 600 appearances, scoring 239 goals. Now, his spell at Kaiserslaughter's probably where he's best remembered. He got 75 goals in 170 games for Kaiserslautern. Very impressive. He also made 25 appearances for Germany and actually scored the equaliser at Euro 96 when they drew 1-1 with England in the infamous semi-final. You know, the Gaza one, where he's that far away. He went into management and he's now manager of the Turkish national team. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Stefan Kuntz. Now, wait a minute. No, you absolute shockers. All of you, go and hang your heads in shames. If you are sitting there thinking, I'm going to put up a picture of a load of... You're sadly mistaken. Take a long, hard look in the mirror at yourself. Here's Stefan Kuntz. There you go. Might bring you another name game next week. We love it so much. So the famous lineal European Cups then, and the boys from Freiburg, they keep rolling on. They've done it again. They've defended it for a third time, a comprehensive 3-0 win over Augsburg. Now, this weekend they take the trophy on the road with them. And here's a twist. They head to Hertha Berlin. Remember them from Hammer Time? 1-2, right? Yeah. So Hertha Berlin were on the receiving end of Hammer Time. This week, they're challenging for the lineal European Cup final. Brilliant. Freiburg or Hertha Berlin, who will come out on top? In the lineal UEFA Cup, we've got new holders. Now, we asked for Borussia Dortmund to win it because it was easier to spell on the social media. They lost. They lost to Borussia Mönchengladbach 1-0. Brilliant. So Borussia Mönchengladbach are our new holders of the lineal UEFA Cup. Lots of typing for me. They faced a tricky trip away to Wolfsburg this weekend, so we'll see who defends it at the end of that. Will either of the cups leave Germany? We have to keep waiting and see whether somebody can prize them out of Germany. They've been there for some time now, both trophies. So Ted is on his way back. I can hear him because obviously he's had to walk again because he's got no fuel. So it's time to reveal the how old from earlier in the show. So Ted, are you feeling confident this week? All I know, really, is that Mr. Scotland 1980 is a very hard one to call. Ted, where has the Mr. Scotland thing come from? Really? Are you telling me he wasn't a male model back in the day? I'm not having it. Not sure about a model, Ted. He was a decent footballer. Really? His most famous moment includes scoring a goal in his own net. Ted, you can't judge his whole career by one deflection. You did. You said it was his most infamous moment. Yeah, that's all great, Ted. Anyway, how old do you have him down as? Well, I reckon his modelling career was drawing to a close at this stage, so I'm going 26. Right, Ted, well, let's see. So when this photo of Tommy Hutchison was taken, I can tell you he was 28 years old. Bloody hell, Reedy. How was anybody meant to get that? I mean, give the man a bottle of wine in a carrier bag and he looks like he'd be happy. Ted, that's just rude. Anyway, have a good week and we'll see you next week. Yes, I'm off to Busted in BP to try and get some fuel. Okay, well, good luck with that one, Ted. Let's hope your petrol crisis is over. So there we go then, episode 57, done and dusted. A little shorter this week because there was no zooming in. Hopefully we'll have a band for you next week. I'm just trying to tie up the details, so I couldn't announce anything because I don't know if they'll be on next week or not. So don't forget, if you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe down below because that's a really nice thing to do. More importantly, click the little bell, which will be in one of the corners, then you'll never miss another episode. Leave us your comments down below, give us a like because we do enjoy those. But for now though, it's ding ding, next stop episode 58, which will be on Saturday the 2nd of October. But for now, as always, stay safe everyone.